Tonight on CTV News at 6. It's a special meeting. North Bay City Council will hear from the Integrity Commissioner and a report into the mayor's expenses. He was reported missing.
Anybody has seen Scott Devlin, please contact police immediately.
Now a Sault Ste. Marie man is a murder suspect. And he experienced trauma at work.
So it does set a precedent across potentially Canada.
An Ontario arbitrator rules that a Sudbury firefighter's suicide qualifies as an accidental death.
CTV News at 6 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. It's so nice you could be with us on this Wednesday. North Bay Council is set to hear from the city's Integrity Commissioner tonight, a day after he ruled Mayor Peter Chirico violated the code of conduct while using a city-issued corporate credit card. CTV's Eric Tashner has the latest.
After months of waiting for a report into Mayor Peter Chirico's expenses, an investigation that the mayor requested for, we now know that the Integrity Commissioner has ruled that Chirico violated the code of conduct with some of his spending. Integrity Commissioner Guy Giorno found that $5,500 out of the $17,200 Chirico reimbursed breached the code of conduct. The violations surround golf membership and season tickets for the North Bay Battalion, expenses he charged on the city credit card. The report found Chirico used the credit card for close to $3,200 for hockey season tickets in 2023 without providing evidence that he used them for city business, and $2,200 for golf expenditures in 2023 without flagging the costs as personal and offering to reimburse them. In addition, Chirico charged 3 personal meals worth $200 that he claimed were for city business, even though only family members were present. The bulk of the personal expenses, gas, car washes, and pet food, were made with Chirico intending to pay them back through his mileage allowance. The OPP and Inspector General of Policing are also currently investigating Chirico's actions. Giorno wrote that if the investigation concluded that criminal laws were broken, he would have halted his work and referred the matter to police. But he wrote he found no basis to do so. City Council can either choose to reprimand him or suspend his pay for up to 90 days, so it will be interesting to see whether any punitive action will be taken. Reporting from City Hall, Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
And Eric is at City Hall right now. He'll have more tonight at 11:30. The city of Greater Sudbury must pay an accidental death and dismemberment benefit to the estate of a firefighter. He had work-related post-traumatic stress disorder that led to his suicide 3 years ago. Mike Frost was 40 at the time of his death in May 2022. He was laid to rest in a public funeral attended by dozens of first responders. When his estate was denied the benefit, the Sudbury Professional Firefighters Association appealed, arguing the city had an obligation to pay the benefit even if the insurer refused.
So the arbitrator determined that the post-traumatic stress disorder would be considered the actual accident that led ultimately to his passing. For the fire sector, this is a first that I'm aware of, that our legal team is aware of. So it does set a precedent across potentially Canada, but for sure in the fire sector about what is compensable and what are let's call it hazards that we understand go along with firefighting duties and its effect on mental health.
The benefit is calculated at twice the annual earnings of the employee, up to a maximum of $500,000. Our digital team has more on this story, which can be found on our website, CTVNewsNorthernOntario.ca. A tragic end in the search for a missing man in the Wanapitei River in Greater Sudbury. Police recovered the body of a 68-year-old last night. Police were first called to the waterway near Highway 537 and Astaire Road Monday afternoon. Investigators say 2 individuals were in a small aluminum boat near the rapids when the boat tipped, causing one of them to fall into the water. Members of the OPP search and recovery team located the body underwater near the rapids. A Sault Ste. Marie man, once believed to be a missing person, has now been identified as a murder suspect. It's the latest update in a June homicide at a Pine Street apartment complex. CTV's Corey Nordstrom has more.
52-year-old Scott Devlin is now wanted on a Canada-wide warrant for second-degree murder and indignity to a dead body. He's the suspect in a murder investigation that began on June 19th in an apartment building in the 700 block of Pine Street. Devlin was reported missing just 1 day prior. CTV News learned from neighbors that Devlin lived on the same floor as the 30-year-old victim. At the time, police wouldn't link the two incidents.
There has to be information that ties somebody to an investigation, and obviously that took quite some time, but like I mentioned, our investigators worked incredibly hard to find anything that they could to learn what took place that day in June, and recently discovered some information that ties 52-year-old Scott Devlin to that, and again, now wanted in connection with the homicide.
Devlin is described as 5 feet 10 inches tall with a thin build and blonde hair. The 52-year-old also has the tattoos Sinner and Saint on his forearms.
That might help trigger somebody's memory if they've seen some unique tattoos or markings that somebody may have when we release those details. So again, anybody has the information, anybody has seen Scott Devlin, please contact police immediately.
Scott Devlin was last seen on June 17th after taking a flight from Sault Ste. Marie to Toronto's Billy Bishop Airport. Police officials say that the murder suspect may still be somewhere in the Toronto area.
We've been in connection with our partner agencies in the Greater Toronto area, so we're hoping to spread the awareness as far as we can so that to help generate some more tips.
Anyone with information on Devlin's whereabouts can contact Sioux Police or Crime Stoppers. Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
Police in Kirkland Lake seized illegal drugs with a street value of almost $14,000 following a traffic stop in the town. On Saturday, OPP pulled the vehicle over on Taylor Avenue. The driver had outstanding warrants, and officers found methamphetamine, cannabis, fentanyl, and cocaine inside the vehicle, along with cash, drug packaging equipment, and paraphernalia. 3 people were arrested and charged, including 2 from Englehart. The province is providing $240,000 to support the Mobile Crisis Response Team led by North Bay OPP. Nipissing MPP Vic Fideli says the money places specially trained mental health professionals with police to de-escalate high-risk situations. The money is over a 2-year period. Public health officials are warning of elevated levels of arsenic in drinking water north of Manitoulin Island. Public Health Sudbury District says water samples from the west section of House Lake show concentrations of arsenic above the provincial standard. The water should not be consumed or used for food preparation. Health officials say the area is near the abandoned McMillan gold mine, and the eastern part of House Lake is not impacted. Moving now to the weather, and you really can't complain about the conditions. Sunshine and above seasonal temperatures. What does the rest of the week look like? To tell us more, here's CTV's Lindsay Ehrlich filling in for Rick Wyman.
Thanks, Tony. It certainly is a beautiful evening to get out and enjoy that last little bit of sunlight. We do have another sunny day expected across northeastern Ontario tomorrow, but as we head into Halloween, we're going to start to see those temperatures cool off, and there is the potential we could see a little bit of rainfall and potentially even some sleet. How long will those conditions be sticking around, and what about those temperatures? I'll have all those details and more coming up in just a bit, but for now, I'll send it back over to you.
Thanks, Lindsay. What's the latest? Still to come on CTV News at 6. We head to Elliot Lake and an update on the city's pool and arena. Right now, though, we're off to Wawa on a live webcam from the mouth of the Michipicoten River. This is courtesy of the municipality of Wawa. It's 12 Celsius with the sun going down. We will return after this commercial break.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Time now for a look at the mayor's chair. Once a week, we check in with local mayors to see what's happening in their community and some of the situations they're dealing with. Joining us tonight in the mayor's chair is Stacey White from Kirkland Lake. Mayor White, welcome.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure joining you.
You as well. And I want to start with some of the more major news. I think maybe I'm going to go out on a limb and say the happy news for Kirkland Lake. Agnico Eagle has announced its plans to advance a mine in your neck of the woods ahead of schedule. Upper Beaver Mine could create 600 jobs and boost Ontario gold production. Right now in this era of economic uncertainty and trade wars, I'm assuming this comes as a massive relief.
Oh, absolutely. You know, Agnico Eagle, I was just at an evening with them and their board members last night, and they are such an incredible community partner. And this latest announcement is just such good news, not only for Kirkland Lake, but the entire surrounding area.
Let's talk about that. What does this mean for the town and you as council? Does Kirkland Lake rest easy with some stability, or do you go out and look for more? What's this all mean?
Well, absolutely. You know what? We consider this an opportunity to not only reinvest in our, century-long mining history, but also take the opportunity to look for divestments in our economy. And we've been doing that for the last several years. We've seen community partnerships with Indigenous partners like Keepers of the Circle for their modular home building facility on our Archers Drive. So we're ready to take this incredible opportunity of the expansion and just run with it for Kirkland Lake.
In terms of this, what are the big points of contention for you and a lot of your mayoral counterparts and some of your Indigenous neighbors? There's been Highway 11. I know there was a recent conference, and you guys around council do your best to always get some FaceTime with the minister. Are you hearing everything you want to hear in terms of highway safety?
You know, absolutely. They are always willing to listen to us. What we would like to see is more progress on previous promises for those projects.
Two big questions, but quick questions I want to ask you before we let you go. Some fun questions. Some of the big news on the world stage right now is the Blue Jays, clearly. And PA announcer Tim Langton is from Kirkland Lake. What does that mean for you guys? I imagine a lot of Jays fans up there right now.
You know what? Honestly, the entire community is abuzz. We are such big fans. You know, we have a deep hockey community, but when we see somebody attached to Kirkland Lake in a history, we are so thrilled and beyond proud.
And we're just days away from Halloween, and there's going to be a lot of trick-or-treaters out in your community Friday night. Any message to those families?
Definitely, we want to see safety being paramount, be visible, and if you're driving around, make sure you're keeping your eye out for the little ones. We do have areas in town that are hit hard by massive numbers of little ones out in costumes, and we want to make sure that public safety is number one.
Great message. I think I live in one of those communities in my town as well, so they're good for all of us to keep in mind. Mayor White, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you for spending time with me this evening.
No worries. That's Mayor Stacey White from Kirkland Lake.
Thanks for that, Ian. A Superior Court judge has ruled that the legal team that secured a $10 billion settlement for First Nations under the Robinson-Huron Treaty Litigation Fund is entitled to $40 million in fees, not $510 million. The larger amount was based on a 5% contingency fee agreed to by the sides involved in the case. The Robinson-Huron Treaty Litigation Fund is a trust that represents 21 participating First Nations in Northern Ontario with about 40,000 beneficiaries. The treaty's annual payments for resource extraction were supposed to increase, but were frozen at $4 for almost 150 years. And we have more on this story on our website. Go to CTVNewsNorthernOntario.ca. The Ford government has signed a major deal with a Northern First Nation. It's all part of the province's effort to expand access to the Ring of Fire. CTV's Siobhan Morris reports.
It's a $40 million deal between the Ford government and Webikwe First Nation. Another step in the long process to access the mineral-rich Ring of Fire in Northern Ontario. This cash will help the First Nations set up
to build the Webikwe Supply Road, a road or corridor access for the community to the Ring of Fire and points beyond.
It's funding to help with the community center, an airport terminal that burnt down, road construction material, and mental health support.
Making sure that our community is well will prosper in the near future and that we address some of the issues that we have.
Very, very grateful. The Premier says this is an agreement that will change lives.
Creating more opportunities for jobs in community centers and hockey arenas and access to medical and food and equipment that can go up through, I like calling it the road of prosperity too.
Not all First Nations support mining in the Ring of Fire. The legislature's only First Nations member sees a plan to divide and conquer playing out.
You will only get those things that you want unless you sign on to some type of agreement. And it doesn't work that way.
Other critics applaud the help for Webekwe, but stress the Ring of Fire won't help Ontario's economy anytime soon.
Just building the road to Eagle's Nest is going to take 6 years. Donald Trump is here today.
We have mining resources right now in the Sudbury Basin and the Timmins area that could be utilized now to create jobs right now.
Construction on that road to the Ring of Fire could begin as early as June, but that timeline depends on the federal government dropping its impact assessment on the project. The province says it doubles up on work Webekwe has already done. At Queen's Park, Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
An update now on the pool in Elliot Lake and where things stand with the facility. 2 weeks ago, insurance adjusters with the city, engineers and representatives involved with the pool's renewal met to investigate why a pump failure resulted in corrosive muriatic acid being released in the plant room. Pumps from the facility have been removed and taken to a lab for more testing. Council is waiting for a report on the extent of the damage.
We had this closed for a long time. We managed to get it open, and this is an accident. Well, we'll term it an accident until the investigation is completed. So we do ask for your patience. We're pushing as much as we can for this to get completed as quickly as possible. But, you know, dealing with insurance companies in the past, commercial is very different than personal. I hope this moves along quickly.
Meanwhile, councillors also got an update on the state of the repairs at the Elliot Lake Arena. The city CAO informing council that upgrades are going well with foundation work scheduled to be completed by the end of the month. Council is expected to get a final design package by the end of November, including an updated budget and schedule. Back now for a check on your current conditions. Once again, here's Lindsay.
Thanks, Tony. Many families wondering what Halloween looks like for tomorrow night. So we'll begin with your scarecast. So Friday night, we're expecting 30% chance of sleet and we'll be sitting around that freezing mark. Out there right now, certainly different conditions. Let's take a look. Heading up to Moosonee, sitting at 12 degrees, 10 degrees in Cochrane, 12 degrees in Timmins, as well as in Kapuskasing. Over to Sault Ste. Marie, sitting at 11 degrees at this hour, 13 in Wawa, and 12 in Chapleau, with gorgeous sunshine across the board, sitting at 14 degrees in Parry Sound with sunny skies. Up to North Bay, sitting at 11, 12 in both Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake. In Espanola and Greater Sudbury, sitting at 12 degrees, same on Manitoulin Island, and 10 degrees in Elliot Lake. How long will that sunshine be sticking around? I'll have those details and more coming up in just a bit, but for now, I'll send it back over to you, Tony.
Thanks for that, Lindsay. It's heading north next on CTV News at 6. After Hurricane Melissa battered Jamaica, the storm is causing significant damage in Cuba. And the Blue Jays battle back and tie the World Series against the Dodgers at 2 games apiece. Officials are hoping to reopen Jamaica's airports tomorrow to help with distributing that much-needed aid. That come soon enough for Canadians with family in Jamaica. CTV's Scott Hurst spoke to members of the community after the island took a direct hit from that monster hurricane.
Urgent search and rescue operations are well underway as the full scope of the disaster is only just now starting to reveal itself. However, initial assessments are pointing to catastrophic damage across many regions on the island nation.
Jamaica's gone through what I can call one of its worst periods.
Hundreds of thousands have been left without power. Homes, schools, and hospitals all bearing the brunt of the storm. A Category 5 hurricane when it came ashore with winds nearing 300 kilometers per hour, one of the strongest Atlantic hurricanes on record. The Prime Minister has declared the whole island a disaster zone, even though, relatively speaking, the capital city of Kingston was spared the worst of the damage. Crews are working tirelessly to also reopen airports, potentially some as early as tomorrow. Of course, on an island nation, they are a critical lifeline for not just getting people in and out, but also emergency supplies, desperately needed in the wake of the devastating hurricane.
We have teams out on the ground as we speak. They're trying to get to western parts of the country where we expect to see the most severe devastation. But I think just from the images that are coming in, we see homes that have been submerged, infrastructure completely destroyed, entire communities that are really struggling just to survive at the moment. And we really want to urgently get assistance to them so that they can get back on their feet as soon as possible.
The storm initially hit Cuba as a major Category 3 hurricane. Hundreds of thousands of people had been evacuated to shelters ahead of its arrival, where eastern Cuba, including the nation's second largest city, Santiago, felt the full force of the storm. Despite being downgraded, it is likely to remain a dangerous hurricane as it now impacts parts of Turks and Caicos and Bahamas. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
A Sudbury woman is waiting for news on family members in Jamaica. She operates a restaurant downtown and says the community has been supportive as she awaits word. CTV's Alan Everson reports.
Nikisha Simpson says she checks her phone regularly, but has not heard from family members in Clareton, Jamaica. Her father lives in a nursing home there.
We're kind of worried about that, just making sure that he's okay and supplies are able to reach them. The roads are not blocked off and so on. So that really is most of our worries, that they're able to get the necessary needs met in the time. This time is a tumultuous time for them.
Simpson's family home is there too, and she's awaiting word if it's still standing.
I guess the most worry would be probably the trees falling down. Because we live so high up on the mountain, flooding is not really what we're most worried about, maybe more landsliding.
Simpson opened Nikki's Jamaican Kitchen in April on Larch Street in Sudbury to share the tastes of her home country. She says customers have been asking about the impacts of the hurricane.
Everybody's come in, just kind of asked, you know, have you heard from your family? Everybody okay out there? So everybody's a little bit concerned. And Sudbury's, there's a lot of people here that travel to Jamaica for vacations and also have friends and family there as well. So it's a loved country.
Simpson says her anxiety level is high as she awaits word from loved ones. Alana Everson, CTV News, Sudbury.
Meanwhile, a restaurant owner with ties to Manitoulin Island has started collecting funds for their home country of Jamaica. R&R Eats was connected to Split Rail Brewing for 6 years in Gore Bay before moving west 2 months ago. Many of Ricardo Buchanan's family members are in St. Elizabeth, which took a direct hit from Hurricane Melissa, Jamaica's strongest ever storm, yesterday.
Man, I haven't slept in like 2 days. Like it's just a constant, you know, like just to go through my day, like I can't keep, you know, I keep thinking about it, like, you know, and I just wish I was there. I wish I was there, you know, I wish I was there. Because even most of my family, because if I was there, there's certain things that I could put in place, you know, just to try to make things a little bit safer.
Buchanan has started a GoFundMe campaign on his social media feeds and adds he hopes to return to Jamaica as soon as he's able. With Prime Minister Mark Carney's first budget just days away, the Liberals and Conservatives are preparing for its possible defeat in the House, with both now accusing each other of wanting a holiday election.
Canadians shouldn't have to choose between a costly budget and a costly election. They can choose an affordable budget with an affordable life. And we're putting forward the proposals on how to do that, like eliminating the industrial carbon tax on our farmers who feed us. Will they take our positive, collaborative ideas for an affordable budget and affordable life?
And there he goes again, Mr. Speaker, with the imaginary taxes. More and more and increasingly, Mr. Speaker, in his own caucus, he has imaginary friends. So this leader of the opposition understands, as all Canadians do, that they gave us a mandate 6 months ago for stability.
In recent days, the Carney government has continued to offer more previews of Tuesday's budget. We learned today it will include more than $432 million to advance women's equality and inclusion in Canada. There will also be more than $50 million over 5 years in the budget to support LGBTQ2S+ communities, including for security during Pride events. More money for defense spending is also expected after continued criticism from Canada's allies. Republican Democratic lawmakers remain at a stalemate on finding a solution to end what is now the second longest government shutdown in U.S. history. It started on October 1st, the Senate failing for the 13th time to advance a bill that would reopen the government until November 21st. Some government workers have had to resort to food banks during the shutdown. Meanwhile, a federal judge in San Francisco has blocked the Trump administration from firing federal workers during the shutdown. The longest shutdown was 35 days during Trump's first term in office. Democrats are refusing to reopen because of health care cuts. An investigation by police in Paris has led to the arrest of 2 suspects in connection with the heist at the Louvre Museum who have, quote, partially admitted to being involved. Prosecutor talking about the crown jewels. The pair faces charges of theft and criminal conspiracy for breaking into the museum through an upstairs window while 2 others waited on the street. The stolen jewels are worth more than $100 million US. There's more news still ahead, but first, here's your full weather forecast with Lindsay.
Thanks, Tony. What a gorgeous day across northeastern Ontario, and looking forward to that sunshine tomorrow as well. Let's take a closer look at that forecast radar. As you can see, some cloud cover starting to roll into the forecast, and that's going to clear out for most of the day tomorrow. But then we're going to start to see this system push in around North Bay, Parry Sound around the 9 p.m. hour tomorrow night. Definitely effects from Hurricane Melissa that will be felt. And as you can see, that rainfall switches from rain to snow and sleet by Friday morning, and then we'll see this system switch completely to snow, affecting areas like Sudbury, Timmins Shores, North Bay, and Parry Sound around that supper time hour on Friday. So trick-or-treaters, you might see a little bit of snowfall, but nothing too significant. Meantime, areas like Sault Ste. Marie, Manitoulin Island might see more activity in terms of showers. Overnight tonight, we're sitting at -2 in Greater Sudbury, 1 degree in Sault Ste. Marie, -2 in Timmins, -5 in Timiskaming Shores, and -2 over North Bay tonight with clear skies. Heading over to Moose and East, sitting at -3 in Kapuskasing-Hearst as well, -2 in Wawa, 2 degrees over Manitoulin Island, and sitting right at that freezing mark in Parry Sound. Let's take a closer look at the next 7 days, beginning with Sudbury, Nickel Belt. For tomorrow, clouds clearing, a high of 8 degrees, certainly sitting above seasonal. As we head into Friday, we're sitting around 5 degrees for your daytime high. There is possible shower activity as we head towards those afternoon, evening hours, and sitting right around the freezing mark when trick-or-treaters head out. It is possible that we could see that rainfall continue into Saturday as we see that temperature dip, a high of only 3 degrees expected. Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, similar weather forecast here. Sunshine for your Thursday, a high of 11 degrees. Normally this time of year, we're sitting around 6 degrees, so we certainly get back to around seasonal as we head into Friday. Your daytime high expected around 7 degrees, again dipping down to that freezing mark overnight. As we head into Saturday, could see that rain-snow mix and a high of 5 degrees. Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, mainly sunny for your Thursday, a high of 10 degrees, dipping down to an overnight low, though, of -4. As we head into Friday, we could see a little bit of shower activity, as I mentioned, a high of 4 degrees. Could see that mixing of snow and rainfall on Saturday as we hit a daytime high of 3 degrees. Timiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake, mainly sunny for your Thursday, high of 8 degrees. We see that temperature drop significantly as we head into Friday, a high of only 4 degrees expected. Again, a slight chance we could see some showers, but there will be some sunny breaks in there as well. Finally, North Bay, West Nipissing, mainly sunny for your Thursday, a high of 8 degrees. We dip down to a daytime high of 6 degrees on Friday when showers move in, and it looks like they could possibly be sticking around into Saturday as well. That's a look at your 7-day forecast. Now it's time to head over to your photo of the day. Thank you so much to Jordan for sending in this great shot. They had a brisk morning walk this morning. Take a look at that gorgeous sunshine. If you have a photo you want to send to us, just simply scan the QR code in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen and send us your photos that way. Now we're heading over to your CAA tip of the month.
Icy roads, slippery slush. Winter is on its way. Still wondering if you really need winter tires this year? The answer is yes. Ontario's Ministry of Transportation says all-season tires just aren't suitable for driving in the snowbelt or northern regions of Ontario. Winter tires is my CAA tip of the month. So when should you make the switch? Follow the 7 for 7 rule. Once you've had 7 straight days with temperatures below 7 degrees Celsius, it's time for your winter tires. Always use 4 matching winter tires for the best handling and grip. Their softer rubber and deeper grooves give you better traction and shorter stopping distances on snow and ice. Look for the mountain and snowflake symbol. That means they meet industry standards for winter performance. Consumer Reports tests consistently show that winter and snow tires deliver better grip to start in snow and stop on icy surfaces. They offer an extra margin of performance over all season and all-terrain tires. And remember, winter tires wear faster in warm weather, so be sure to swap them back in the spring. Need a hand? CAA's mobile tire service can come right to your home and make the change for you. That's your CAA tip of the month, helping you stay safe and ready for the road ahead.
Fans of the Toronto Blue Jays were hoping for a bounce back from them last night, and the boys of summer delivered in a big way. The World Series is now tied 2 games apiece as the Dodgers and Jays prepare to battle it out again tonight in LA. CTV's Adrian Gabriel on what's shaping up to be one of the most watched World Series in years.
Ohtani. With the season's opening pitch thrown in Tokyo, Major League Baseball tipped its cap to the truly global reach of the game.
Let's go, Blue Jays! I'm from Australia, but I was born in Singapore, grew up in England, all over the place.
And you're a Blue Jays fan.
A huge Blue Jays fan.
Here in LA's Little Tokyo, you don't have to look too hard to see who's being crowned king in the City of Angels.
24 hours, Japanese TV both is broadcasting about Dodgers and especially Shohei.
Game 1 of the 2025 World Series hauled in an average of 32.6 million viewers combined in Canada, the United States, and Japan.
It's very fitting that, these 2 teams in particular are playing in the World Series. This is the collection of the best players in the world right now.
Even the series itself, with 2 Canadians who hold Canadian passports, at least, in Freddie Freeman and Vlad Guerrero Jr. You look at Alejandro Kirk, who becomes the first Mexican-born player ever to hit a home run in a World Series. The fan base specifically shows just how global this game is.
The house is full of Americans, Canadians, Mexicans, Japanese fans cheering on their fan favorite Ohtani. Let baseball be the light, perhaps, that can guide our leaders to a better place here, and let them guide the Jays to a World Series victory.
With the regular season starting in Japan and the postseason soon to be ending in Canada, this marks the first time in league history that an opener and final games of the season have been played outside of the United States. Following Game 5 here in LA tonight, the World Series is headed back north of the border. Adrian Gabriel, CTV News, Los Angeles.
And a Kirkland Lake man holds one of the biggest jobs in Canadian sports. He is the PA announcer for every Blue Jays home game and is calling his first World Series. CTV's Amanda Hicks has the story.
So today, here we are in the audio control room.
Tim Langton's voice sets the tone for every Blue Jays game held in Toronto. He's been the team's public address announcer for the last 2 decades, but he didn't get his start under bright stadium lights. It all began in his hometown of Kirkland Lake.
I wound up being told of a job at CJKL, little radio station up in Kirkland Lake, and it was news, and I said, don't send anybody else, this is my job. And she told the news director at the time, and he liked that, so he hired me. And that's where it all started.
That experience led him to radio stations across the province before he eventually landed a job in the audio department in what was then called the Sky Dome. Langton still uses an old-fashioned scorecard to keep his eye on every play, and he describes the character he brings to the mic as big and loud to hype up the fans.
When I say Vladimir Guerrero when we're sitting here talking, but when I say it on the mic, it's Vladimir Guerrero. So there, there's a little bit of a difference there. And it's fun to do that, to be a little different and just to take it a little farther. So that's kind of where the character, it's brash, the character's brash, in your face, and a big fan.
Now, Langton is calling his first World Series something he says is a privilege.
Game one, I had butterflies like I haven't had since my very first game. It really hasn't landed yet. It still seems kind of surreal that here we are after all these years and coming close, and it's almost unbelievable still.
Langton is one of only 3 PA announcers in Blue Jays history. He attributes a majority of his success to his early beginnings in Kirkland Lake, demonstrating a big voice can come from a small town. Amanda Hicks, CTV News, Sudbury.
There was a rare Tuesday night tilt in the Northern Ontario Junior Hockey League. The Sault Michigan Eagles downed the Blind River Beavers 5-2. Lucas Caulfield had 1 goal and 2 assists for the Eagles. And 2 Northern OHL teams are currently in action right now. The Sudbury Wolves are hosting the Sault Greyhounds in an all-Northern rivalry. The game got underway at 6 o'clock and it's scoreless after the first period. A longtime store that disappeared is making a comeback. Still ahead on CTV News at 6. Zellers is getting another relaunch today, this time in Edmonton. Halloween night is just a couple of days away. While some ways to celebrate the occasion have changed, Timmins police say there are some safety messages that never grow old. CTV's Lydia Chubak reports.
With Halloween falling on a Friday this year, Timmins police expect to see more people getting together to celebrate.
There's been a lot more parties, per se, not so much trick-or-treating as there was in the past. I noticed that families and friends would rather get together and have their own parties.
But for those who do enjoy trick-or-treating, Southcott says one of the best pieces of advice he can give is to travel up one side of the street and down the other.
Don't cross back and forth. Travel in groups, and if not reflective tape, if there's an adult, they can have a flashlight to make everybody more visible.
While it doesn't receive many complaints about candy that's been tampered with, the police service has investigated reports about needles found in chocolate in previous years.
Take their loot, so to speak, and place it on the floor, go through it, see anything that looks like it should have been tampered with, or see if anything is not suitable for them to eat.
Southcott also reminds party revelers to make arrangements to get home safely and not drive impaired. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
A new global health report suggests that 1,400 Canadians died every year between 2020 and 2024 due to wildfire smoke pollution. The numbers come from the Lancet Countdown on Health and Climate Change, which finds wildfire smoke pollution in Canada has surged significantly compared to the early 2000s. Researchers also say last year's heat waves led to the loss of millions of potential work hours, costing an estimated billions in income. This report comes just ahead of a G7 meeting on environment and energy set to take place in Toronto later this week. Chances are you get them almost every day, scam texts that look like they're from your bank, Canada Post, or CRA. While most of us know we have to be careful not to click on links that could be fraudulent, more people are concerned they could get scammed. CTV's Pat Foran has details.
Many of us are bombarded with fake texts on a daily basis. They may say you have a 407 bill due, money from the government ready to deposit, or a traffic ticket. They might also say you have a delivery from Canada Post, a job offer, or a rebate from your phone company. Kevin Borisic of Bowmanville recently used Facebook Marketplace to sell a fishing rod. He got an e-transfer link sent to him and expected to receive $150. Instead, when he clicked on it, he was scammed out of $400.
I expected to get an e-transfer from him. I didn't expect to have money go out of my account.
A cybersecurity survey by Equifax found that 1 in 3 Canadians received fraudulent job offers or fake CRA texts in the last 3 months. The survey shows 75% of Canadians worry about being hacked, 13% admit clicking on a fraudulent link, and 6% have already had their identity stolen. Equifax says many of the scam messages are designed to sound pressing, pressuring you to act fast.
Any of those urgent requirements, that should be the first red flag that there might actually be an issue here.
There is a new website, Stand Against Scams, which is part of a national awareness campaign launched by the Anti-Scam Coalition. Companies have come together to help educate Canadians on how to protect themselves and recognize fraud. The central message is a 3-step process: stop and think. Check to see if it's legitimate. If you're not sure, ask family and friends. And talk, then share details about scams to protect others.
The best strategy at this point is vigilance and using multiple layers of protection.
Be suspicious of any unknown text you receive until you can check it out thoroughly, and be cautious before clicking on links sent to you. Borisic says he was hoping to make a little money selling a fishing pole when instead he was scammed out of $400 he can't afford to lose.
You hear it all the time happening to different people. You never expect it to happen to yourself.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
A certain vampire is returning to the silver screen. Rick Damigella has that and more in the Hollywood Report.
Your skin is pale white and ice cold. Don't go out into the sunlight.
Say it out loud. Say it.
Vampire.
The Twilight Saga is back in theaters in honor of the 20th anniversary of Stephenie Meyer's first book. The 2008 film that started it all returns today and runs through November 6th, while the sequels roll out for 1 day each from October 30th through November 2nd. Locations and showtimes at fathomentertainment.com.
Right now, the only thing that matters is that there's a killer on the loose in our building.
They're leaving the building again. Hulu has announced it's renewing Only Murders in the Building for a 6th season. And for the first time, the main trio is heading overseas, investigating a mystery in London. The season 5 finale just debuted Tuesday.
The Beatles had broken up. And I was thinking, what do I do now?
Here's your first look at Man on the Run, about Paul McCartney's post-Beatles era as he formed Wings with his wife, Linda. McCartney is an executive producer on the documentary, which features rare archival material. It's set to stream on Prime Video February 25th after screening in select theaters. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
The discount retailer Zellers is making yet another comeback with a mall relaunch in Edmonton. There will be a multi-phased rollout, and by spring 2026, Zellers will begin announcing new locations across the country. The company says it will carry affordable family products. It will feature clothing, home goods, and luggage, while ditching other past Zeller categories like toys and pharmaceuticals. Zellers originally launched in 1928, and at its peak about 25 years ago, it had about 350 stores nationwide. A wide range of websites and online services were knocked offline this afternoon by an issue at Microsoft. The tech giant was dealing with outages on its suite of productivity software and its cloud computing platform. A number of companies, police services, and other Microsoft clients saw their websites knocked offline. Microsoft says the issue was triggered by an inadvertent configuration change, and a recovery process is underway but not yet complete. This comes just over a week after a massive outage at Amazon's cloud computing service. Now, with a look at today's business news, here's Morella Fernandez from BNN Bloomberg.
Only 4 months ago, NVIDIA became the first company to be valued at $4 trillion US. Today, it blew past that. NVIDIA shares climbed to a high of $207 US today. The company CEO, Jensen Huang, announced this week a plan to build 7 supercomputers for the American government. NVIDIA is a leader in the production of computer chips that power artificial intelligence. Its exponential growth comes despite U.S. export limits on what it can sell to China. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to 71.69. West Texas Intermediate crude is slightly up to 60.48. Western Canadian Select down over $1 to 47.56. And the TSX lost 274 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
And here are the current prices for some key commodities we watch. Gold down $4.19, closing the day at $39.3763 U.S. an ounce. Silver up 77 cents to end the day at 47.76. Copper up 12 cents, closing the day at $5. And nickel moved forward 7 cents, ending the day at $6.88 U.S. a pound. And Lindsay is back now for one last look at your Thursday weather.
Gorgeous sunshine across the board, Tony, and we're seeing above seasonal temperatures for one more day. A daytime high of 8 degrees in Sudbury, 10 in Timmins, and 11 in Sault Ste. Marie. Heading over to North Bay, a mainly sunny day expected, a high of 10 degrees in Parry Sound with a slight chance of showers, and sitting at a daytime high of 8 degrees in Temiskaming Shores.
So that, Lindsay, I got a question for you. What's your favorite chocolate bar?
Oh, that's a tough one, Tony. I would say either the Wonder Bar or maybe a Snickers, but, you know,
okay,
depends on the day.
That leads us to this story. With Halloween away, many people will be handing out candy, chips, chocolate bars, and the kid in all of us has a favorite chocolate bar, right? Well, the North Bay Battalion of the OHL posted this video on TikTok. Take a look.
Okay, this is number one.
So he took Arrow, right? While the troops had to choose from Arrow, Kit Kat, O. Henry, Snickers, and Hershey's chocolate. Which one would you pick? I think I'd take O. Henry. And folks, that's our show. Thanks so much for watching. CTV News at 6. I'm Tony Ryma. More news comes your way at 11:30 with Ian Campbell. Good night.